Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk all news, comics, and media related to the Transformers. On this episode, Renegade Studios is going to do more Transformer-themed board and card games with Hasbro. Paramount is going to make more Hasbro movies, including Transformers. And we've got a new Earthspark trailer hitting social media. Today is Friday, October 14th, 2022, and this is episode 307 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that expected to have some comic publisher news to discuss this week. Oh well. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hi. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, if you're not already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up and, help contribute to the show, help us keep the lights on, pay for hosting and stuff, pay for, help us pay for stuff to get some prizes out to you guys and everything, all the good stuff, and help the show keep going. One of the perks of being a Donatron is getting access to some of our bonus episodes, and we've got the next episode of We Like Big Bots, and this one is featuring Power Master Optimus Prime. So Daryl, you and Dr. Pants had a good long chat about Power Master Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Dr. Pants has got a really big version of this guy. And so we wanted to discuss Power Master Optimus Prime, and I could contribute a bit. So it was it was a fun one. It's a character that I definitely didn't have as a kid. I know, Jeremy, you've mentioned it a number of times that he was your Optimus. So
I had a G1 Optimus as well, but the Power Master one got a lot of play.
It's a fun toy. But we talked about Power Master Prime for this episode, and he's a fun character. So yeah, we brought out a bunch of figures for him, and they're all generally pretty big, so that it qualified for this show very easily.
All right. Yeah, so all our Donatrons will have, or already should have, access to that. So check your Patreon page, and you can find this episode of We Like Big Bots on our Patreon. All right. Of course, we've also, another bonus content is our uncut early episodes of Empire of Rust, our Transformers live play RPG podcast. We just had episode 86 come out this week in the regular show feed. And now coming this Monday is the early episode of episode 87, the Cobalt Jungle. And this will be exclusive to our Donatrons out on our Patreon page. Will be coming out on Monday, October 17th, a full week before the regular episode drops. So everyone else will see that episode on October 24th when it comes out. But all our Donatrons get it a week early, and also with lots of bonus raw audio, unedited version of this episode. So enjoy. This week, we also had a special episode coming out yesterday on Thursday. This was another in our series, Let's Talk Transformers. And this time I got to sit down with Mr. Chris McFeely and talk all about Transformers and a bunch of other stuff too. So you really should check that out. It's already available, should already be in your feed. It's already on YouTube. Everyone should take a chance to look it out, take a look, and enjoy our conversation. It was a nice long chat with myself and Chris McFeely. Okay, that's all the announcements. So let's jump in. And we've just got some media news to talk about this week. So all about media news in this week's alt mode.
Well, we're going to start off with Renegade Games, and they Renegade Game Studios, sorry, and they are expanding their licensing partnership with Hasbro. So what you see on the screen here is you've probably seen this around, and it is the Transformers Risk game. That is what they're probably best known for having, and they are going to be doing some more things with Hasbro. So look for them to produce something with GI Joe, another thing with Transformers, and now with Power Rangers, since Hasbro has acquired the Power Rangers brand. So look for some games for those brands coming up.
And I believe Renegade Game Studios is also they're the folks who did the deck building card game that we did with Mike. They also have done the RPG rule set, the new RPG Transformers RPG rule set that just came out. I think they also have a GI Joe one too, I believe. So they're.
I think this does not bode well for the Parker Brothers brand within Hasbro, which is the Risk game that we're showing here is from 2007 from Parker Brothers.
Right.
So, if Renegade is making, the Hasbro licensed board games, then
why are they showing that if it's not by them? Then
it's because they don't have any product yet.
Oh, okay.
So it is a Transformers board game.
Gotcha.
Which I never have played that, and I love Risk. I'm like one of the few people that loves Risk.
And do you say you have this?
No, I don't. But
it's not hard to find if you want one.
Risk, which is an incredibly tedious game.
Looks like this is movie themed characters rather than G1 characters. So
yeah, and if you wanted one of these, it's pretty easy to find. No, it's pretty easy. I mean, I've seen them at Value Village, and they are all over Kijiji, so you can definitely find them there.
Well, I'll wait and to see what Renegade Games does, because I think they have a pretty high quality output so far.
Right, but this is like $5 at Value Village. So, next up on the list is the Magic the Gathering Transformers cards that will be appearing in the Brothers War set that's coming out next. We have the official images of those cards, and I'm just going through them here. As I don't remember hearing about a Ratchet card, and just going through them here just to see if there's anything else that I don't remember hearing anything about. But I think that might have been it. So yeah,
it might through a lot of these last week.
We did. We went through them all, but I think that the Ratchet one was one that wasn't mentioned. So yeah, it might have just been missed. But yeah,
I remember seeing it, even if we didn't mention it.
Really now?
Yeah,
calling me a liar. Okay, I gotcha.
Well, I'm the one that edited the video of the podcast.
Gotcha. But if you are a person out there who's been looking at getting some of these cards, you can get a closer look or get start to study the effects of these cards here with the official images. And next up, we've got the TFW 2005 coverage of the Hasbro Investor Day 2022 panel. Or not panel, it was the call, I guess. And Jeremy, since this is all business stuff, I'm going to let you take it from here.
All right. I forgot my suit jacket, so I feel unprepared. No. All right. So some of the big announcements coming out of this is that Hasbro and Paramount have renewed their movie contract for only Transformers and GI Joe properties. So if you were a big Battleship fan, sorry. They're going with the properties that make money and GI Joe. So But anyway, I think this is a good sign. We didn't know what was going to happen, and we're expecting Rise of the Beast to be the last one. And obviously, they're going forward. And I don't know what they're going to do on the G.I. Joe side, because even though I enjoyed Snake Eyes, I think it didn't really go over all that well.
So, still haven't even seen it.
Yeah. So anyway, it's good news though that it's been renewed.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they aren't going to make sequels of these movies, right? Because I mean, we still haven't seen Dungeons and Dragons yet; it's still coming out, right? But it doesn't mean that there won't be a sequel. It just means if it's be done by a different studio.
Yeah, or that might be a different contract from what the existing contract was. Like this contract included things like Battleship and stuff, and so they clearly dropped that. But Dungeons and Dragons, I would expect is its own thing. Another thing we have here is Earthspark Season 2 has been greenlit. Haven't even gotten Season 1 yet, so that's a great sign. So I'm looking forward to that even more. The people that were in the room with these announcements got to see the Rise of the Beast trailer. So I would expect we'll see that at some point, probably before Christmas.
It'll be on the internet by the time this show is out.
Likely, yeah. But anyway, it's, we're at a point where the trailer is at least cut, but a lot of times those are initially shown with not final images and stuff. Some of the CGI isn't worked out, so they might be holding the trailer.
Who are we kidding here? This movie was supposed to be out in June originally, and then it got pushed back to December of this year. This movie is done, Jeremy. This movie is just done, and they're holding it at this point. They are holding it for holding's sake.
I imagine everyone is like me, and if I'm told I have more time, then that just means I procrastinate more. But we've also got the first official look of Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime robot mode, but I'm going to show what we have here, and it is just very blurry.
It sure is a red and blue Transformer.
Right. I think there was also this. I think this might be the more clear version here. It looks like Optimus Prime. I mean, we don't have a lot of other details here, but it looks like Optimus Prime, and apparently it was shown in conjunction with Earth Wars and the Tactical Arena mobile games, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. There is still the untitled Transformers animated theatrical movie that is coming out. We still don't have any details of that yet.
That's the one directed by Josh Cooley, right?
I believe so. But there is a line here on the TFW 2005 notes that they're targeting a level of hype akin to the Spider-Verse movies. That's a high bar. So,
okay.
I mean, a number of months ago, I tweeted at Josh Cooley just to say, "Hey, how's that Transformers movie coming along?" And he tweeted back to me, "Optimus Prime giving the thumbs up." Like, great.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it.
Okay. He didn't block you, so that's great.
No.
Well, he did respond, because I remember when it was first announced, Daryl, you tweeted at him, like, I think you just said, like, we're pulling for you to do a good job or something, or like, and he responded to you. Didn't he? He was, he seemed very,
we're buds.
Positive, yeah. Get us some inside scoop, Daryl, next time you're at his house, at the barbecue, let us know.
Back to the movie stuff real quick. Reading this again. All the other brands, apparently including Dungeons and Dragons, fall under E1, not Paramount. And the Dungeons and Dragons, I remember, was promoted as E1 at PulseCon. So, but the animated movie, I'm wondering if using the Spider-Verse name might, I don't know. This might just be my eagerness for something like this, but what if it was a multiversal Transformers movie that went through all the different animation styles? comics and stuff. That would be fun.
That would be great.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
let's just aim for a good animated movie first.
Yeah.
And then we can start reaching for a little bit higher shelf here.
Okay.
I got a lot of faith in Josh Cooley because he's done a lot of good stuff in the past, but the previous history of Transformers movies, tends to suggest that regardless of how good the director is, their hands will be tied by some mundane, stupid producer shit. So, let's have the movie be good first.
Okay. And then the last thing we have here is that blurry image that I showed off. That is the Rise of the Beast product standee. You can see blurry t-shirts and other product here. I mean, it's a cardboard standee. We've seen those. So anyway, that is the Investor Day stuff. But before we get off of this, there is some sad news that I've seen posted on Twitter. I haven't seen any kind of confirmation, but of exactly where it hit. But the day after Hasbro announced this, they did have a bunch of layoffs. It was a small percentage, but Hasbro's a big company, so a small percentage is still a lot of people. But it said it was mostly in design, and I think the LA offices were hit the hardest, like E1 and what was Wizards of the Coast and Secret Location. Haven't heard of anybody related to Transformers posting about it. Hopefully they're all good, especially since we saw so many of them recently on PulseCon. But yeah, it's sad when they announce that, all these things and then trying to kind of force it to look more profitable by cutting people. And so hopefully everyone that was laid off does find a good landing somewhere else. So that is our business corner here.
I thought it, for sure you would have also mentioned the tiny little bit of business news about how Elon Musk also brought out his new humanoid robot called Optimus, and
I have a filter on news regarding Elon Musk. Not a fan.
But it's Optimus. He exists now. No,
if it was created by Elon Musk, it would not be a force for good.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know. He seems like a jerk to me.
You're not wrong.
So we're going to move into some stuff from New York Comic Con. So that was this past weekend, and we've got a couple of panels that were taking place at the con. So the first one is, and both of these things, we got a lot of coverage. All the coverage we have are coming to us via Ben Yee of Ben's World of Transformers. And this first one is the Making of the Beast Wars panel. And Ben, I remember reading if you want to read all of the tweets, he's got like 100 tweets for each panel. So this is a kind of tough to boil it down to like 4 or 5 tweets. But if you go to his Twitter account, you can definitely see we've got a link in the show notes. You can definitely follow and go
to October 8th and October 9th. And he was
right.
just tweeting nonstop during the panels.
He types real fast, so it's really good. But yeah, Ben, he's got some really great tweets regarding the Beast Wars one, and he was mentioning, and I was reading it while he was typing it. He said in one of the tweets, he mentioned how the Beast Wars panel was literally being put there to give credit to the creators of the show because they feel they don't get enough credit because for being one of the first CG shows, and how I think he said Pixar is getting, it seems to get all the credit, and how what was the studio? I forgot the name of the studio. Mainframe got
your Canadian people.
How am I supposed to remember all of these studios?
They're putting out Reboot and Beast Wars.
Yeah. So so he said Mainframe doesn't get any credit, so they wanted to put this together. But yeah, so they did this here. They do call out Reboot and saying it was the first and it's in the Smithsonian. So yeah. But yeah, so there's a bunch of different stuff in here. There's a bunch of guests that were on this panel, and they all talk about it. There were designers, there were writers of the show, and yeah, so a bunch of different stuff. And it's a great series of tweets. They show a bunch of designs that also were used, and then some of them that never ever got used. So you can definitely see some of them here. Jeremy's got them up on the screen here, but there are far more than what we've got here. So there are tons, absolutely tons of them.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was neat here was just they mentioned that the stasis pods in Beast Wars originally were going to transform, and that concept was later used in the battle droids in Star Wars, where I'm guessing it's where they were like folded up and they came out. I'm not sure exactly, but or maybe it was the battle droid toys. But that would have been a fun concept.
Mm-hmm. And then the next panel. So the next one was the next day on October the 9th, and this was the Transformers Earthspark panel. And this was a panel with all of the well, not all, but a lot of the voice talent, and and I think he said some of the one of the show creators was there. Yeah, so this was a good one as well, and there's a lot of notes as well from this, and we've got some tweets from Chris one of them's from Chris McFeely, and one of them's from Nick Roach as well, talking about this panel.
Yeah, the Chris McFeely one was interesting because there's apparently a flashback episode in Earthspark where they're going back to G1 animation. Like when we saw these images that were like the Earthspark Optimus and then the classic Optimus. Classic Optimus is actually a screenshot from Earthspark. And they actually did classic 2D animation. It's going to be a trip to see. There's another picture here of Bumblebee and some of the characters from the show. And I'm really wanting to see how this this plays out. And like there's a comment on this tweet from Ben Yee that someone said it looks like Photoshop, and he's like, this is from the panel. So
maybe this is the Spider-Verse successor where they're blending the G1 animation and Earthspark.
Yeah, who knows? But it's awesome.
Yeah.
And here's the Nick Roach one.
Yeah.
Someone asked, what he was involved in designing, and he said, from this latest trailer, the Seekers, Megatron, Wheeljack, Elita 1, RC, Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Thrash, which I'm guessing would be a Dinobot. I don't know. Oh no, he's one of the new Earthborn Transformers. And then from the earlier trailers and stuff, Skullcruncher and Bombshell.
That's a lot of characters. Yeah. Well done, Nick. Yeah.
He says 18 months plus work from him alone on a lot of that. So it's the beard. The beard gives him the power.
Well done. And then they also released a new trailer for Earthspark, and we've got links galore for this thing, so you can see it on YouTube, You can see it on Instagram, you can see it on Facebook and on Twitter. So there are no places you should not be able to see it right now. Except TV. You probably can't see it on actual TV yet. So
November 11th on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So,
the show's on Paramount Plus, so why put it on regular? Why put the
Well,
advertisement on regular
It's
TV?
on Nickelodeon as well.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so there you go. It looks fun, and the biggest takeaway from this is that Megatron's not a bad guy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does not have a Decepticon symbol on his chest.
He does. Inside that new symbol, which I'm gonna see if I can find it. There's a small Decepticon logo in there, just like Optimus has a small Autobot.
Oh, okay. All right. I missed that.
Let's see.
They're still showing Optimus with his full face. I don't like that. I do not like that. Do not want.
I like that you don't like that. That's the only reason I like it is because you don't like it. You can't really tell, but maybe a little bit in that scene. There's a little Decepticon logo in there.
They better in the first episode. They better explain these insignias because they are really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Megatron have like an M chin? His chin is an M for Megatron.
Yeah, maniacal.
But if you look on his shoulder, focus on his shoulder, you can see the Autobot logo there.
Oh yeah, I see.
So.
Can you? I mean, if I squint, maybe like.
Oh,
okay, just cover up the face. Stop take it away.
I don't know. I mean,
there's the Mandroid.
Yeah.
There's some Decepticons.
Swindle.
Yeah.
Nolan North is voicing Swindle. That's also news that came out.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't know. It looks like a fun show. It looks like Bumblebee is going to be teaching these New Earth-born Transformers, and he talks. That's always a plus. So.
Yep. Bumblebee talk, Prime with a faceplate. That's what I need. That's what I need for my Transformers shows. You can change everything else. Bumblebee talk, Prime with a faceplate, please.
You can only have one of those, Charles. You can only have one. But yeah, that's it for media news.
All right, well, that's everything for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. So yeah, we don't have any other stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, New York Comic Con has come and gone, and there has not been an announcement for the Transformers comic license. So we're still waiting to hear from that, which probably means there will not be any new Transformers comics in the new year, at least in January, because the solicits are out this month. Unless, I mean, maybe we've got a couple more weeks, maybe by the end of the month. I don't know.
Watch the news will happen while we're at TFCon. You can't really do anything about it.
But yeah, we're still.
When do you think it'll happen now, Charles? When? So we've got no other major cons now for the rest of the year. We've got little piddly ones that, I mean, they're not going to announce it at TFCon. So what? Where do you think it's going to happen? Like, is it major enough to actually make an announcement, or do you think they'll do it on one of their fan streams?
They'll probably, it'll probably be a fan. If we don't get anything in the next couple of weeks, I'm guessing like the next fan first Transformers stream, because they have been talking about like ancillary media stuff for Transformers in those streams. So they talked about the Royal Mail stamps. They've been talking about Shattered Glass. So maybe end of the year they do a fan first Friday stream, and they talk about Transformers comics license, and the new book will be starting in March or April of next year or something like that. I don't know. That's my guess, but
that seems more likely than anything at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's the next major thing is there like a Toy Fair in the spring? Is that it? Or?
Yeah, Toy Fair, I guess, is February. and that's toy focused. So I don't know if they're going to announce a comics license there. So
Right.
I don't know.
Well, they just had Toy Fair in September. The next one is next September 30th through October 3rd. So.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah.
Toy Fair was in February. I guess it's moved around now. All right. Well, anyway, that's it for Alt Mode this week. So, of course, at the end of the show, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the show at the highest level on Patreon, which is why we give them a shout out at the end of every episode as a thank you. So thank you once again to John 4X11 Good and Demon Tech 82. We really appreciate your support. And that'll do it for this week's Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.